The competition between Kendrick Lamar and Drake has emerged as one of the most talked-about rivalries in modern hip-hop, characterized by clever wordplay, subtle jabs, public disputes, and a clash of egos that has fascinated fans around the world for years. Recently, however, the feud took an unexpected turn when actress Julia Stiles found herself unintentionally drawn into it. If you're wondering how a star known for romantic comedies became involved in such a heated hip-hop conflict, the story is both surprising and intriguing. Welcome to Celebrity Cookies, where the tea is always hot and the stories come with sprinkles of surprise. Make sure to subscribe, leave a comment with your take on the story. Just as I was wrapping up my day, my phone rang, and when the interviewer mentioned my name in connection with one of the decade's biggest rap rivalries, I almost spilled my coffee. Me? Involved in the feud between Kendrick Lamar and Drake? It felt more like a prank than real news. But there it was. Drake had shared a clip from my movie, 10 Things I Hate About You, on his Instagram story, complete with a wink and a broken heart emoji. Suddenly, a scene from a teen romantic comedy was at the center of hip-hop's most intense rivalry. When I first saw the clip, I was struck by how perfectly Drake had chosen that specific moment, toward the end of the film, where my character, Kat Stratford, stands on stage delivering a sharp love poem filled with reasons I hate Patrick Verona. I list everything from his big dumb combat boots to his hairstyle, only to conclude with an emotional revelation. I don't hate you at all. It's a confession full of contradictions, revealing a hint of affection beneath a facade of playful animosity. While it originally speaks to teenage love, in Drake's hands, it became either a public gesture of reconciliation or a clever dig at Kendrick Lamar. I learned about my unexpected role in this lyrical exchange during a routine Q&A with The Times. The journalist casually asked if I was aware of it, likely expecting a confused look or a laugh. Instead, I found myself grinning broadly. "I'm so honored," I replied, still trying to wrap my head around the surreal connection between my world and theirs. It's amazing that something I did in 1999 could gain new significance in 2024 amidst a rap feud between two of the biggest names in music. The confusion persisted. Why that specific poem? What was Drake truly trying to express? Was it a peace offering disguised as a jab, or merely a playful showcase of his pop culture savvy? As I pondered this, I recognized that the poem's concluding line, "I don't hate you at all," was the type of ambiguous statement that can linger in someone's thoughts for days. Perhaps Drake was suggesting he felt no genuine animosity, or maybe he was simply reminding Kendrick that beneath the tension of diss tracks and legal battles lies a shared history, a bond rooted in mutual respect and competitive spirit. To understand the importance of that brief clip, one must trace the evolution of the rivalry between Drake and Kendrick. This rivalry began years ago with subtle hints and casual references that simmered beneath the surface until early last year, when Kendrick dropped Euphoria, a track filled with sharp lyrics that caused a stir on social media. Rather than retaliate with another diss track, Drake opted to use a snippet from my film, showcasing my face, my poem, and my words. In a clever move, he turned a teenage love poem into the backdrop for his response, skillfully blending cinematic nostalgia with modern musical conflict. That same week, news outlets reported that Drake had accused their mutual label, Universal Music Group, of disseminating false and malicious narratives about him, claiming UMG depicted him as a predator in his song. Legal documents and heated exchanges filled the headlines, but on Instagram, it was my voice, Kat Stratford's voice, echoing through time to emphasize the moment. It served as a reminder that in rap feuds, as in film, the meaning shifts with context, and every line can be wielded as a weapon or elevated to something sacred. After the interview, where I shared my surprise and pride, I took a moment to reflect on why actors and filmmakers sometimes find themselves unintentionally involved in other stories. As performers, we inhabit the narratives of our characters, but once those stories are released into the world, they belong to anyone willing to reinterpret them. My poem about teenage disillusionment became, for Drake, a means to convey his own message. This is the strange magic of art. It never disappears. It merely transforms. Kendrick's next move could take many forms. He is known for responding to challenges with careful precision, allowing a diss to simmer before striking back. Last month, he released Not Like Us, A powerful track that soared to #1 in the UK and ignited new speculation about his stance in this feud. Fans on Twitter dissected every line and rhythm, trying to figure out if he was throwing subtle shots or simply asserting his claim to the throne. However, to my knowledge, he hasn't directly addressed the Julia Stiles clip. Perhaps that's a strategy. Why waste energy on snippets when you can craft an entirely new verse that overshadows the original? In the meantime, the legal case is still in progress. Drake's lawsuit against Universal is gradually moving through the judicial system, and any reference to that split only heightens the situation. I'm struck by how a scene from a romantic comedy has transformed into either a minor detail or a pivotal moment in a modern rap story. This illustrates something about our media-centric age. We consume, remix, and blend various realms without hesitation, and sometimes the clash itself becomes the narrative. I remember shooting 10 Things I Hate About You at the end of the 1990s, a time when MTV was at its peak and teen films were major cultural events. We filmed the school scenes in a theater that had been turned into a classroom, and many of the actors were relatively unknown back then. Heath Ledger, who portrayed Patrick, was already displaying his magnetic charm. Joseph Gordon-Levitt brought a witty appeal to Cameron, and I was just a girl in combat boots delivering lines, hoping everything would come together. We joked at the time about whether anyone would ever look back on it. Yet here we are, 25 years later, and that film has reemerged in the context of a rap battle. Some might view it as trivial, merely a celebrity distraction in a feud fueled by diss tracks and industry rivalries. However, to me, it underscores the blurred lines between different entertainment forms. Film influences music, music spills into social media turns everything into memes and moments that feel both fleeting and enduring. In today's landscape, nothing stays confined to its original category. A scene intended as a sweet, albeit sarcastic, teenage love poem can swiftly transform into a weapon, a jab, a peace offering, or a punchline. As someone who has built a career portraying other people's stories, I find this both exciting and humbling. It serves as a reminder that once an actor delivers a line, it no longer solely belongs to them. It becomes part of the experience for anyone who finds new significance in it, anyone who needs that line to convey a different message. In this case, Drake used my poem to communicate something to Kendrick. Whether that message is one of reconciliation or provocation remains to be seen. There's also the issue of women's roles in male-dominated industries, whether in film or music. My character, Kat Stratford, is tough, sarcastic, and unapologetic, qualities that resonate with the defiance and confidence seen in artists like Kendrick and Drake. In a way, Drake referencing my poem to address Kendrick acknowledges that strength. Kat's final statement, "I don't hate you at all," is a vulnerable admission wrapped in bravado. It reflects the dualities both rappers navigate, the fierce image they project publicly, and the complex emotions that lie beneath. Picture the moment if Kendrick finally decides to respond. He might craft a lyric so intricate and insightful that it touches on more than just Drake or myself, delving into the deeper themes of conflict and connection in art. He could choose to follow the poem structure, listing all the reasons he might dislike Drake's position or celebrity, only to ultimately recognize that there's respect involved. Alternatively, he might completely ignore it, using silence to highlight that some disputes aren't worth engaging with. Either option would send a strong message. Beyond the conflict, I'm reminded of the core purpose of storytelling. We share stories to connect with others, to foster understanding, to heal, and to inspire change. Even a lighthearted teen romantic comedy, filled with witty dialogue and cultural nods, can resonate in unexpected ways years later. That's the magic of storytelling. It goes beyond its initial context, waiting for someone to find new meaning in it. So yes, I feel fortunate to be part of this narrative, even if my contribution is small. It serves as a reminder that art is timeless. Films become historical treasures, songs evolve into anthems, and moments intended for one purpose can be completely reinterpreted. In a world where content is king, every line has potential value, and every scene could become a defining moment. As for me, I'll sit back and watch what happens next. Will Kendrick respond with a verse that references Shakespeare? Maybe he'll write a poem of his own. Or will he continue to build his legacy through stadium tours and Pulitzer Prizes, letting this moment fade into rap history? Only time will tell. For now, I remain honored and intrigued, grateful that something I expressed as a teenager on a film set could eventually resonate within the context of one of rap's most significant rivalries. Because one thing I've learned over the years is that you never know when a line of dialogue or a lyric will find its moment to shine. And when it does, it reminds us of art's lasting power to surprise, connect, and endure. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this situation, so please share your opinions in the comments. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications to stay updated on the story.